Now that plush hotel, that cheap pair of jeans, or that beautifully cooked meal, in some cases, could be thanks to use of forced labour, and new figures from the International Labour Organization suggest illegal profits from the trade are as high as this enormous number, $150 billion a year. Two-thirds of that figure comes from the sex industry, with the rest primarily from domestic work, agriculture and construction. In fact, construction, mining and manufacturing nets $34 billion in illegal profits for firms, according to the ILO. And agriculture remains one of the biggest offenders, although the overall profits are smaller, estimated to be at $9 billion. And despite attempts to crack down on modern-day slavery, it still exists in the home. Private households save $8 billion a year by not paying or underpaying their staff. Corinne Vargha is chief of the ILO's unit on fundamental principles and rights at work. She joins us now from Geneva. Corinne, good to have you on the programme. That is a shocking statistic, $150 billion. Now, the Director General of the ILO is saying we have to eradicate this evil, we have to make great, easier said than done. How is that tackled?
Yeah, indeed, forced labor actually has absolutely no place in our society, and we should be doing our utmost best to eradicate this as a matter of priority. So now comes the question of how to do this. This is one of the reasons that prompted the ILO to come up with this new statistic and to doing more surveys, because we need to be understanding better the root causes, what is prompting actually victims to be trapped into forced labor. And this report is one step in the right direction, which is going to enable us actually to guide governments and policymakers into more efficient policies and measures to combat forced labor by prevention and by protection of victims.
Also, a lot of this is criminal activity, isn't it? And we're looking at more than half of these are women and girls, a lot of them forced into sex trade. How is that tackled? Because that is happening right here in the UK, it's happening across Europe, it's happening prevalently in Asia. I mean, where do you begin?
I think where you begin is by prevention, actually. That's going to be the most cost-effective way in trying to eradicate this phenomenon. A lot of these practices are linked to migration within countries, but also migration across borders. So a lot of effort needs to be going into pre-departure prevention by raising awareness of the most vulnerable, those that are more likely to fall into the trap of forced labor. But we need also to be stepping up our efforts to protect the victims by giving them access to effective protective measures, by being more efficient also in enforcing the law in all those that are currently using forced labor and forced sex workers. So it's really a combination of very efficient prevention measures and very effective protection measures of victims, and also getting those that are using forced labor to pay and compensate the victims.
All right, Corinne Vargha, thank you for your time from the International Labour Organization. Of course, there is so much more to discuss.